Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about longevity oil. Longevity actually comes in two forms. It comes in Vitality and it comes in the regular one. But I am going to have my friend Sarah put up a picture of when I took longevity for This Is Me in 2 months. So the picture on the left, you can see that was my starting picture. And then the middle picture was days, and now that other picture is actually today at 60 days. So if I want to say in simple terms, this is what longevity does. So like I want you to look at look at under my eyes, look at around my mouth, look at the skin tone. There is a big difference. So in simple terms, longevity is something that I plan to take probably for the rest of my life. After doing this experiment, I am doing 10 drops of this in the morning, and I fill it in a capsule. I just take it right out of the bottle, 10 drops, and then I fill the little top of it with a carrier oil. I'd maybe get like 2 drops of a carrier oil, and then take it in the morning and take it at night. So in simple terms, you just look at what it does for your face. It is an amazing thing to use. So all of you who want to know like the sciencey part and what is it doing and what is this oil, I'm going to get into that portion of it right now. So longevity is actually a blend, and it contains 4 different oils. It has thyme oil, orange oil, clove, and frankincense oil. And so that ranks it among the most powerful antioxidant known, scoring a stellar 1,050,000 on the ORAC scale. So an antioxidant, in really simple terms, they're elements that help actually neutralize the free radicals and lessen the day-to-day oxidative damage. They're beneficial with slowing down the aging process. So if you look at like just at my testimony on a perfect, what does it do to my face? Slowing down the aging process. I don't ever want to stop this after seeing what it actually can do. And so in that aging process in our organs comprised of healthy fats and preserving and protecting the integrity of the fatty cells, it makes these, it just helps with the brain and the liver and the organs. The antioxidants also protect cells by attaching themselves to free radicals. So like if you have a little circle, think about all these radicals happen. An antioxidant goes and eats up those free radicals that are happening. We talk a lot about this with Ningxia Red. So this is another version that you can get with antioxidant. It is necessary for restoring and retaining the youth. That is a big deal. So the thyme oil, so like here's what I want to tell you a little bit about this. Besides the premature aging, how it helps with thyme oil, protects the DHA levels. It's a nutrient that is actually supportive of our brain. And I'll get a little more into details, but I'm just putting this in simple terms for you, and then I'll tell you kind of the big sciencey stuff. So the thyme is going to help with supporting the brain. It contains antioxidant properties and eugenol. A clove, you know, is in our thieves blend, so that is also good for our immune support. Frankincense supports general health and well-being. And then the orange oil has D-limonene, and that helps support our immune system. I found some really cool information. I was listening to a transcript that Gary Young did when he actually taught just about the longevity oil and the oils in here. So I'm going to give you a summary of that, which is, I always like saying this is the sciencey stuff that is really cool. So where you're increasing your cognitive function, you're improving your memory. People, as they get older, the memory loss is happening. All of that happens when your DHA levels start to decrease. That is something that is in your body that decreases with age. So this comes from good fat in the body, from the polyunsaturated fats, because it's crucial for brain and eye function. So what happens to America when you hit maybe 35-ish, 40? Yeah, what happens to most of us? We all have to get glasses or something. Our eyes change. Now, thyme oil, what does thyme do? Thyme in the brain. The health of the brain can actually be significantly improved by protecting the fats like this DHA from free radical attack. Levels of DHA decline with age. I know I just stated that before. And declining DHA levels are directly linked to age-related declines in memory and cognitive function. Okay, so that's something that's kind of cool. Like none of us want to have that happen to us. Thyme preserves the DHA levels. The research at the Scottish Agriculture College tested the ability of thyme oil to preserve DHA levels in the brains of 100 different subjects. They daily fed the thyme oil of 42.5 milligrams per kilo of body weight, and it drastically slowed the age-related DHA degradation in the brain. So that would actually equate to about 3 to 4 drops daily of this thyme that's in the longevity oil. So Gary Young said that he actually learned that thyme doubles antioxidant activity in the brain of test animals. Okay, so that's kind of cool. That would be a reason that we want to take thyme, right? So what does clove? Clove is another ingredient here. I'm going to talk a little bit about clove in liver studies. Clove increases the phase 2 liver detoxification. In a 1996 study at the TNO Nutrition and Food Research Institute in the Netherlands, they fed human volunteers 150 milligrams of eugenol for 7 days and concluded that eugenol decreased background liver damage. And we see that research conducted in India, the eugenol inhibited lipid peroxidation in rat liver microsomes 10 times more effective than vitamin E does. So lipid peroxides dropped an average of 30%. This is really important to know because this is where the premature aging, when the lipid, I'm saying this word wrong, lipid peroxide goes up in the body. So we want that to be decreased. The only other thing that they have found in the world to decrease lipid peroxide, which is a bit more drastic, was in Ningxia red at 38%. Okay, we talk about Ningxia red and antioxidants. Well, here's a cool thing that you can get with a clove. There's a bunch of studies that were done with limonene. If you look up what does limonene do, limonene is super important for many things that people can get when they are sick. If you do research on limonene, orange is the limonene that is actually in here. One of the things I like to tell people, especially when they take their Ningxia red, and me personally, I always do about 14 to 16 drops of a citrus oil every single day after I learn what limonene can actually do. So one of the things that Gary said that was really important, he added supplements, and he added them into the vitamin supplements. He did it for 2 reasons. One is because they increase the bioavailability to the digestive tract. And secondly, it increases the permeability of the nutrients that are assimilated. So it's a critical antioxidant for your liver and other organs. Now, this is something that I learned about today. I had to look up to kind of understand it, but now it makes sense. These type of oils, they're used to detoxify poisons and chemicals, and that's what's called glutathione. Glutathione is actually a very, very important antioxidant, not just for the liver, but for other organs. And when I was looking up to it, because I'm like, oh, that's a big word, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. Glutathione, the body, your body and my body actually produces glutathione in the liver, but it decreases naturally with age. Glutathione actually detoxifies the liver and organs of poisonous chemicals and drugs. So intercellular glutathione is depleted when our cells are exposed to any sort of oxidative chemicals or stress. You've probably heard your team leaders talk about like store-bought shampoos and deodorants and hand soap and cleaners. So what happens if people are using these from the store? That your body is exposed to this oxidative stress and chemicals, and it's lowering your glutathione. And so that is what you're going to see when people are coming up with various like liver damage and heart disease, other things. It is low levels. The other thing that I learned about that is low levels. Researchers have found links where low levels of glutathione can be related to glaucoma and macular degeneration. So what do you do if you're going to have like a liver damage? What is happening to your body? Well, your lights are out at that point. So when your liver starts to go, everything is going to start to go. And so that accounts for 95% of all reductions in most tissues. It declines with age. When you talk about limonene, that's any citrus oil. Like I take citrus oil in my Ningxia red, and the citrus oils in your longevity is that orange oil. Limonene raises this glutathione level. So when our body is aging, the glutathione is going down. The limonene is going to increase that. So at Johns Hopkins University found glutathione levels and the proximal, middle, and distal small intestine at 10,000 parts per million for 2 weeks. So when they were testing that, they did it in a controlled study, and they found that it was almost double when they were giving this to people. So longevity, in summary, contains limonene, thymol, and eugenol. And these are 3 compounds that we have been talking about for protecting your liver, your organs, raising glutathione, and decreasing lipid peroxide. So I don't know about you, but that was super interesting to me. I mean, simply looking at what do people's faces look like in general when they are taking this, okay, that alone for me is enough for me to want to take this every day. And from doing it myself personally, it's amazing. If you guys have never tried this, start filling capsules and notice it over like 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days, what it looks like. So I don't know about you, but that even the research on it is pretty amazing. So Bonnie or Sarah, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add to this. For me, it's much more, okay, my face looks better. I'll do that every day.
Yeah, I've been taking it every day too. I don't have pictures and I need to take pictures, but I've had people actually stop me or call me and say, "What are you doing? You look 10 years younger." So, and I don't notice it because I see my face every day and it's like, oh, it must be working. you know, but yeah, I started taking longevity mostly because I just wanted another way of getting frankincense into my system on a regular basis. And I felt like the longevity with the clove and, the orange and everything, that was just a great way to do it. But the more, and I used to take the capsules that they had, they had pre-made capsules, and then it stopped. And so I quit taking it for a while. And then I decided, they're not coming back. I'm just going to start back in on the putting the oils in a capsule. And honestly, I think that that's better than you're actually getting, how many drops you're getting, and doing the 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening. Now, sometimes I miss the evening one, but I'm actually getting more longevity into my system than I was before. And I think that's a good thing. I think that there's a noticeable difference. I feel better. I love it. And I know that it's doing all those sciencey things in my body, even if I don't, it's like, even if I don't, physically see those things, I know that stuff is working. So for me, it's a staple.
I agree with Bonnie. Longevity is definitely a staple. One of the things with having Lyme and having to just really keep a handle on my immune system and making sure that it is always running at its absolute best is being able to have a couple of tools in my arsenal, and longevity is one of them. So I'll actually do longevity in a capsule with inner defense. And for me, I feel like that's a serious 1-2 for anything. So when I travel, when we go to church or any gatherings or anything that's going to have a lot of people, I make sure that I do longevity, vitality in a capsule, and my inner defense together. And I really just take care of my immune system that way. But one of the side effects that I've noticed with taking longevity internally is every now and then you have the purse granola bar. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's that granola bar that you threw in your purse and it kind of got stuck at the bottom, and it's been there for hopefully only 6 months, but it could have been longer. You don't really know. And you're starving and you're out and about, and you pull out the purse granola bar and you're like, I'm going to take my chances and eat this thing. And you eat it, and then you get a headache. And part of that headache is because the fats that were naturally occurring in the granola bar have gone rancid. And for me, if I take a capsule of longevity after I eat something sketchy like that, I don't get that headache from it. Or if I'm starting to feel like it's coming on, the action that Kara was talking about on how it preserves lipids and it goes after those rancid fats and it has all that amazing antioxidant activity, you can physically feel it benefiting you by just taking a capsule of longevity when you've had maybe something that you shouldn't have had. So if you're going to eat fried food, if you're going to eat sketchy granola bars out of your purse or any of the other stuff, make sure that you do a capsule of longevity afterwards and just give your body all the tools that it needs to not suffer from the bad choices that you're making.
Okay, one other thing I forgot to mention too is I've heard this from people. Now, I haven't personally noticed this so much because we don't have tons of flies here in Colorado. It's like a really short season of flies, but it is something that I give my horses on a fairly regular basis. And people that I personally know who live in fly country, they notice a definite decrease in the amount of flies that are attracted to their horses when they give longevity to their horses. So it's kind of one of those things for me. I tend to give longevity during the summer season to my horses and Immu Power to them during the winter season, just on their food, stuff like that. But just another little tidbit that, you know, do this experiment yourself and see what you think.
That actually reminds me of a testimony that I heard, Bonnie, where people were using the thieves cleaner and they were adding longevity to it and they were spraying down barns that were heavily infested with flies, like the black flies and the biting flies and horse flies and stuff, and they sprayed it all down and cleaned up the barn, and they were able to dramatically reduce and clear out the flies in there. So it could be a thing to just add it to whatever spray you're putting on your garden and stuff and see if you can't decrease those critters that are coming around, because it's not the prettiest smelling blend, but it works really awesome.